Good morning, my lovely friends. How are you all today? I hope you're well. And what a beautiful morning it is today. It's really quite remarkably bright and beginning to feel a little bit warmer. Yay! We've been having these sort of 12, 13 degrees centigrade days. It's so lovely. But it's not even just the warmth, it's the absence of the grey, gloomy clouds we've had so long. So it's an absolutely beautiful day. And I've just checked the weather forecast and it looks like we're having this weather right through to the end of February. I only get a 2-week forecast. So it's definitely time to make the most of it. Even if I have to invent reasons to be down in the garden, I will. Just to get this light again after all those dark, gloomy days. Oh, it's absolutely joyous. And I'm not even going to make any apologies. Oh, bye-bye, Rusty. I'm not even going to make any apologies to everyone who's got snow. I'm sorry you've got snow and all that, but I've got sunshine, so I'm going to make the most of it. Yay! So today's jobs, I'm going to focus almost entirely on the herb bed today. I'm going to do a bit of pruning. I'm going to hopefully get that path sorted out. I'm also, having seen that some of those sweet peas have come up, I can't believe I may have sweet peas this year for the first time ever that I've grown rather than ones that have been given to me. Yeah, I've got a few leftover seeds. So I thought I might as well get those. I'm going to sow some today and I'm going to soak a load more as well, like I did, because the soaked ones seem to be sprouting better. I was also planning to, I don't think I've got any sandpaper here though, unfortunately. I was planning to do a few that I was going to scarify. So I don't know if you remember last year when I was sowing my loofah seeds, that I was advised to scarify the seed husk first, just to help them get going. It's kind of interesting because when I did that little experiment, I did half of them scarified, half of them I just sowed them as they were, and they all came up. But yeah, I thought I would do that with the sweet peas just to see if there's any difference between sowing them dry, sowing them wet, sowing them scarified. But I don't think I've got any sandpaper down in the shed. All I would do is just rub the seed on the sandpaper a bit, just to start breaking down that really tough outer shell it has. If I find some sandpaper, I will do that. If not, I'll just soak a load more. So yeah, it's the thing about this sunshine I'm very, very mindful of, and the beautiful warmth, is I do keep reminding myself of where I'm at in the year. This is only the middle of February. We can have some rubbish weather coming, a little down the line. I'm not going to start sowing things like tomatoes, for instance, because I won't put them out into the garden until June, because they really want to be consistently above about 8 degrees centigrade. It's true for all the vining plants, so the tomatoes, the squash, the chocha, the loofah, the peppers, all of those. And we won't really have that consistency of temperature until about June. So if I sowed them now, they would have March, April, May, that's 12 weeks, plus a couple of weeks of February, 14 weeks. They would be massive, monster, leggy plants if I had them indoors for all that time. So just be mindful of that if you're also getting this gorgeous sunshine, that although it's beautiful and it's warm, we're still only at the middle of February. But doesn't it feel great? It just makes so much difference. I was thinking this yesterday. I had to go up and down my high street a couple of times, post office, that sort of thing. Beautiful sunny day, and everyone was sort of smiling, and people seem more chatty and relaxed. Morning, morning, morning. That's lovely. I love it. Right, enough of Trumpton. Not everybody will get that reference. Oh, and so I keep forgetting to do this. I brought with me today the copy of Grow Your Own magazine, because do you remember a few weeks ago I had to tidy the shed up for some photographs because the magazine had got in touch with me. It's completely out of the blue. They got in touch with me to say, I'm just trying to find the page now, one of their columnists likes my channel but really likes my shed, and they wanted to do a little mention. Would that be okay? Of course it would. So like I say, it came completely out of the blue, but really lovely. And I did say at the time from your comments that I would show it to any of you who are overseas, because I know that a subscription overseas costs way more money than anyone wants to spend on a magazine. So for all of you who are overseas, this was the March issue. This is what appeared. Let me just, can you see a little piece there? And look, my little shed. It was, honestly, it was such a thrill to see it. It was such a thrill to be asked. It's only a tiny little mention, but I can't believe my little shed, my little haven, my little palace, my little home from home has been seen and enjoyed by Jane Perrone is the columnist who wrote this. Some of you may know her from her days at The Guardian. She was a garden columnist at The Guardian. But it's really lovely. It's incredibly sweet and flattering. I'm not going to read it out because I'm too shy to. But it's really lovely, and just mentioning the fact that she really likes my shed and my channel. So yay! So that was in the March issue of Grow Your Own, which is chock full of lovely stuff to read about. And do you know what? They sent me this copy as a thank you for letting them put me in it. No, thank you. And it's such a treat, because one of the things, obviously with going without a wage, one of the things I don't do these days is buy magazines or newspapers. It's way too much of a luxury. So it's been really lovely to just flick through this gorgeous glossy pictures of veg. It just really, it's a perfect time of year for me to have something like this, because it really makes you kind of get excited for the season to come. It gets me all sort of drooling at the prospect of how the garden might be this summer. Yay! So I put a proper little spring in my step. Right, I think it's time to get into the garden and make the most of this gorgeous, unexpected, glorious sunshine. So come on, get your wellies on, let's get out there. Because I want to crack into the herb bed today and get this path sorted out as best I can today, I thought it's going to be the perfect time to do a bit of pruning, just give myself a little bit more space. It's a little bit early, maybe a couple of weeks early to be doing this, but they're all pretty hardy plants, and I'm just going to try and show you in here. And you see all that lovely new growth that's coming. So yeah, first things first, a bit of a prune of these lovely shaggy herbs, and then I can get stuck into the path. I'm going to start with the tansy, but because I don't want it seeding everywhere else in the allotment, I'm just going to take the seedy heads off, separate those, then the rest is going to go in the compost. Just one thing to bear in mind, they've not gone to seed yet, with tansy is some people do find it quite a skin irritant. So I haven't found that to be the case for me, but if you tend to be sort of sensitive in the skin department, when you're working with, whooply, falling off my little bit of path, when you're working with the tansy, wear gloves, sleeves, etc. Can you get a sense from the light of how warm it is today? It's amazing. These plants are all really pretty hardy, so they won't mind this pruning now. Actually, let's bring that bucket there, let's be a bit more ergo. The reason I didn't do this in the autumn, well, there's a few reasons. One, because they were still looking lovely. Two, because it's a bit of cover for the ground during the winter rains. Oh, seeds back in that one. So just as I was talking about the other day with the garlic, I don't want to have bare ground that can be absolutely pelted over the winter by the rains. But one of the main reasons is if I pruned it all back in autumn, that would encourage it to put on a big spurt of growth going into winter, when it is obviously going to be more vulnerable to damage from the cold. But all this growth that's down here now, if you think about it, this is all developed during our most frosty period. So, like I say, it is a pretty tough, hardy plant, but rather than risk it getting going again over the winter, leave your pruning till spring. This bed's going to look a little bit bare by the time I've finished. So all I'm doing with last year's growth is cutting it right down to about 1 inch above soil level, making space for the lovely new growth. Gosh, such a lovely day. And of course, while I'm down here, I can see the little weeds. Oh, and I should say another massive thank you to Jan for the gorgeous Felco snippers. I did manage to get my hands on a sharpening stone the other day, but I'm too scared to practice just yet. You can probably see from this angle also one of the reasons for me to get on with sorting out this path. It just makes it so much easier to be able to stand here and come in from this direction as well as to come in from the other direction without too much of a stretch. Oh, little weeds just starting to show their faces. Okay, that's the tansy done. Next up, the St John's wort. Oh no, I'll do the feverfew while I'm here. I'm already feeling like I might need to remove some layers. How amazing! With the feverfew, I'm just cutting back to where I've got some lush new growth. Just be careful when you're cutting back that you don't cut into really brown wood. What a beautiful way to spend an almost spring morning though. I really enjoyed this kind of work that I'm getting on with this morning. It's quiet. Oh, so wonderfully quiet. But what's lovely is it gives me a chance to get up close and personal with my soil again, with my plants. You know, oh, big crow. Absolute masses of crows in the tree up there. Yeah, I think, you know, so much of the winter is spent, I think we look at the big picture, we come to our gardens, we do our building work and our maintenance and some harvesting, but I think over the winter we don't spend as much time really close up with the plants and the soil. So it gives me a great opportunity to just look to see how is everything doing, how has everything survived over the winter, where are the weeds beginning to show? They are, a few. So, apart from the fact that it's lovely, quiet, gentle work, which is beautiful, oh, this gorgeous morning, I know I keep going on about it, don't I, but it really is special today. But starting to get rid of these prunings today has shown me I think I may have lost my lovage and my sweet Cicely. There's absolutely no signs of them. There's no sign of new growth above the soil. So I don't know whether they've, you know, turned their toes up and decided they don't want to grow here for me, or quite what. But, you know, maybe they'll come back. They are perennials, so they should come back, but it's just a bit of a concern that there's absolutely no signs of them. So, you know, obviously once we get into the height of summer, the bed really fills up and fills out, which is lovely. So at this stage where I've got gaps, I'm not going to be desperately hurrying thinking, oh, I need to fill those gaps, I need to fill those gaps. I will just watch to see how they go over the spring. And if it looks like they're not coming back, then I will either, I could actually buy a couple of new plants, because I had that lovely gift voucher for Christmas from Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Actually, that would be a really, really lovely thing to do with the gift voucher, is if any of my herbs didn't make it, is to get some new ones. This is the hyssop I'm on now, and again, all I'm doing is just cutting back any of the sort of dead woody spikes left over from last year, and just cutting back to where I can see nice little new green shoots. And I'll have to do a little bit of weeding. Not many, but there are some. Oh, that's a little runner from the St John's wort. And that's the other thing with all of these kind of plants, is having them in the herb bed hopefully will contain them, because they will happily self-seed everywhere. They will turn into monsters, but hopefully having them in this one bed, I can sort of contain them. So if little seedlings pop up where I don't want them, I'll have them out. I can always pop them up and give them to someone else, or I can just put them into compost if I really, really don't need them and no one else wants them. So yeah, I'm already thinking about, dreaming about this summer. Woo! If you're getting these beautiful, warm, sunny days too, don't forget to keep an eye on things in your cold frames, greenhouses, etc. Because it may be, amazingly at this time of year, it may be that they need a good watering. Who'd have thought watering in the middle of February? Thank goodness for a full water butt. A few more of the sweet peas are up today. No sign of the lettuce yet, but I remain hopeful. Time to get on with this little path. Now, obviously, in an ideal world, I would have done this before I planted. However, when I planted, oh, it's a little weed. When I planted, I had plants and no bricks. So I just got on with getting the plants in. Never mind. And it's not going to be, is that straight? It's not anything fancy. It's literally just somewhere for me to access the bed from. There we go. If I was making a path, a proper path that was going to be walked on time and time and time again, I'd be thinking about digging out, maybe putting some hardcore down, then some sand, and then laying the bricks. But this isn't that. It's nothing fancy pants. It's literally just, what have I got that I can use? What time have I got? Let's just get on with it. So, yeah, that looks straight enough. So I'm just going to, oh, pardon me. I have to take a bit of soil out, and ideally I do this with my edging tool, the tool I use to do my edges with, but I lent it to someone and I can't remember who, and I don't have it now. I'm also in the process going to lose a little bit of the, whoopsie, oh, nearly, I'm such a klutz, ow. Rubbish knees, they don't hold me up. That's why I need my path and my stepping stones. What was I saying? Yeah, I'm going to lose a little bit of the St. John's work maybe, but that's fine, it'll come back no problem. So let's see. Oh, let's put down some roots, I tell you. Oh my goodness, I'm having a dyspraxic day, obviously. There are some days and I think I shouldn't be allowed to do anything physical because it's just a disaster waiting to happen. I feel like I'm doing this in a really cat-handed way somehow. Wow, that St. John's work really has clumped. Let's be having you up and under it, and then I'll put soil back if needs be. This may take some time. The other thing is, all the bricks are slightly different sizes. So in terms of the depth to cut out, I'll almost certainly have to put a bit of soil back. Getting awkward. I'm just going to have to stand on the soil somewhere. Yeah, I'm just going to have to stand. But I'm not going to be planting anything here, so could always just give it a tickle later. It's obviously a little bit compacted here from where I stood to plant the rhubarb and to poke my nose in to see if it was growing. Do you know what? I really have made this awkward for myself doing it now rather than last spring. Hey Rosie. The cats, needless to say, have been loving this warmth. Sunbathing, basking. Let's see how we're doing. Oh yes, awkward. Never mind. Where there's a will, there's a way. Oh, sorry, Hyssop. You just have to hope that your plants forgive you, don't you? When you give them a bit of a battering. Okay. Might be easier to do the rest with the trowel. Loads of the bricks have got bits of mortar on them still. Unfortunately, I don't have a hammer and chisel with me to get it all off. But, like I say, it's not meant to be, it's not going to be a thing of beauty. It's purely practical. Excuse me sounding like I'm huffing and puffing, it's because I'm bent over. Oh, you're too long. Oh, you naughty thing. Yeah, and then what I'll do is, down the sides, I'll just sort of backfill it, stomp it down, and that should hold it all in place. Oh, these strings are useless, Vivi. Get them out of the way. If there's any builders watching, please forgive me. All I'm interested in is a bit of DIY, get it done, bosh bosh. The job's a good one enough. And a pleasant way to spend some time on a really pretty morning. This will do eventually, won't it? I don't think I'll win any prizes at Chelsea this year. Because obviously I normally win prizes at Chelsea. Gotcha, go on. I've done that the wrong way, haven't I? It's supposed to be sideways. And that's a bit of a lump. That's it. Go on, girl. Right, can someone pass me the other bricks, please? Opla. That's a grotty one. Oh, my knees are complaining. Ouch. It's got a great big lump of mortar around about there. Oh, that's irksome. I need 3, I've only got 2. That's a bit wobbly. I have to go and hunt for another couple of bricks, or 1 brick. 1 more brick, 1 more brick. Yeah, root and toot and scoot, and let's go find another brick, Vivi. Well, it may not be perfect, it may not be beautiful, but it's practical, and that's all I wanted. So that will obviously, it'll settle down a bit more as I, standing up now, my knees are killing me. Yeah, it'll settle down a bit more now as I walk on it, and obviously as we get into the summer, these plants will all, it's impossible to film without shadows today, the sun's so strong. Yeah, obviously all these plants will fill out, and they will, to some degree, cover it. But it's always going to be there now for me to access. So, for instance, those are the jobs doing today, the pruning, the bits of the, hello shadow, for the bits of the plants which are in the middle. I can get to them really easily now. So, yeah, glad to get that done today. It has been a job, like so many others, that's been on my mind for ages, but it's always a case of just waiting for materials to turn up. I also managed to find the Rosetta Stone. It's just a bit of an old paver that's broken up, and I just thought, oh, you look like the Rosetta Stone. I'm going to have you now as my stepping stone, so I can step there and step onto the path without trying to step onto the little path in the middle from my grass paths, which, well, as I just so perfectly demonstrated a moment ago, with a combination of my dyspraxia and my knees which buckle and don't work, it just means it's just safer for me to do it that way. So good, tick, another little job done, and more than that, it's just been a really beautiful morning to enjoy it. And actually just getting all the plants pruned and tidied up and a little bit of weeding done. Yes, I'm thoroughly happy with that little session this morning. Goodness me. Apologies for the squinting. It's almost deck chair weather. Oh, bask. Actually, the sun's about to, you see I go into shade, it's about to disappear around the corner of my shed in a minute. I'm not showing you the sunshine to upset those of you who have snow. I hope it's an enjoyable bit of a sense of warmth. You know how it even sounds warm today with the birds twittering away to their heart's content. So yes, a little bit of warmth, a bit of light, and isn't that what we all long for? by the end of winter. We just want the light again. That's better, not squinting now. It's just heavenly. I'm going to just sit a while now. I was thinking about getting on with other things, but like I was saying the other day about the winter body syndrome, my knees are really not happy at the moment. It's so frustrating. But never mind. There's nothing I can do about that other than to stop, rest them, and come back another day. But it's just, you guys know, you all know this feeling when we get these first beautiful days, how much it massively lifts our spirits and gives us that, our sap rises and we want to get on with things. So, if you've got weather like this, I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're managing to get outside and enjoy some beautiful garden time. For those of you with snow, I hope the thaw starts to happen really soon for you guys. Whatever you're up to, whatever your weather is doing, have fun doing it. Find the joy, find the positive in it. Now, before I fall asleep in this beautiful sunshine, I'm going to say cheerio to you all. I hope I will see you again really soon. I will, I'm sure, because this weather looks like it's going to be staying for at least a couple of weeks. So I'm hoping I'll be able to be in the garden probably every other day or so. So until then, take care of yourselves, you lovely, lovely people.